Is it possible to 3D print an iPhone? I spent the past year designing and making my own iPhone out of a block of aluminum, and I want everybody to be able to make and modify their own phones, but not everybody has access to a CNC mill and all the other supplies and tools that I used. So, I want to redesign this to work on a normal 3D printer. We'll see if it's possible. I'm gonna start by just printing this existing design to see what I might need to change to have it work on a 3D printer. Wanted to give a quick shout out to bambulabs for this X1 Carbon. I'm quite excited to see what I can do in terms of printing with different materials. Let's kick this off, see how this goes. All right, let's have a look. Yes, I mean, this looks really good. It's a phone. We just need to see how well the parts fit. So first things first, does the screen fit on? Are the dimensions right at all? Oh, that's good. I mean, that already is looking like a phone. Yeah, this is, this is awesome. Okay, let me test some other stuff that I think might be issues. Does the camera fit? It does. Nice, that looks good. What else? Let's test out buttons. I'm a little bit worried about the side holes. How are these going to work? Okay, that does not fit. That's somewhat to be expected. I think I can just make those bigger. These are really quite small holes with like no support. So one thing to do might be to try some support. It's printing really well without support, but it might help those holes be a little bit more round and the right size. And then SIM card does not go in, so that needs to be a little bigger as well. This here, that's pretty good. The big thing though, I don't think I can tap these holes. These are 1mm and 1.2mm threads. We're gonna need to fix that. I'm thinking maybe like heat threaded inserts. But overall, yeah, I think this is gonna be totally possible. Oh, there's this issue too. It's super bendy. I don't know what you can see. That's a problem. I wonder if I just make the plastic thicker. I mean, now that I have this model, I can easily change it. So I can just add 1 millimeter or 2 of thickness to give myself a bit more support. I also think that the screen will add some rigidity. My other thought is, I wonder if I make a recess back here, you can get replacement glass. So, I mean, this is an Apple-made iPhone shell, and this has glass all over the back, and you can get this glass as replacement that has adhesive. So if I made like a recess here, then I could glue in or double-sided tape in the glass, and I bet that would add some rigidity as well, which is crazy to say that 2 glass things would add rigidity, but I think they will. All right, let's fix this thing up. So, one of the things we need to do, we need to make these bigger. I think the inner diameter needs to be like 1.75, something like that. And then I also added the recess for the glass back, and I made the whole thing a bit thicker. Okay, I think I have these tweaks made. We'll give this another print. Hopefully it's right this time. All right, so I printed it with support this time. I'm using the special PLA support material from Bamboo. It's very strange, it's very like stringy. It's supposed to be like easier to remove. That's cool. It leaves an interesting texture. All right, that was a bit of a pain, but it went pretty well. I'm pretty happy with that. Let me grab a glass back and we'll see how it fits. Glass back. Oh, that's nice. That's gonna be great. And that's gonna definitely be a lot more rigid. Between that and then when we put this on here, I'm still not giving it to jerry-rig everything to try and bend, but I think for everyday use, that's probably stiff enough. So let's look at the sides and the internals now. So let's see how the SIM card tray fits. Still not big enough. Yeah, it needs to be even a little wider in both areas. Okay. A few of these little strings got embedded in features, which is not great. But overall, this looks amazing. Yeah, this looks great. Okay, I've got all the support removed. Let's try out these threaded inserts. So I have a number of different inserts. Some of them are labeled, some aren't. I have some drawings of what screws go where. Everything down here on the floor, including here, is an M1.2. Turn on the soldering iron. I've got just a regular soldering iron tip. They make some specialty tips to put these in. I don't have those, so. All right, let's give it a shot here. Ooh, that's gonna work great. Look at that. That is super solid for a first one. Let's do a couple more. This is gonna be great. Yeah, those fit in awesome. What else? Let's check a couple more things fit. This is the lightning jack. This might be an issue. The screw bosses are actually too big in diameter to go through the flex cable here. So we're gonna have to make the walls smaller and maybe remove, I put a little fillet at the bottom, remove that fillet. I was hoping to sort of give it more structural integrity, but they're just gonna have to be smaller. I wanna see how the logic board sits on here. It's okay, I think they need to stick up a little bit more though. They're kind of supposed to act as registration. So the top of this insert just barely fits in that hole. So if I sand this down as well, this is the same height as the M1s, I could put these in places where I need to sort of have a registration. The reality is, this is the last video I'm gonna film in this shop. The movers show up tomorrow at 9 a.m. and it is currently 12:30 in the morning. And I still have to pack everything you can see. Cutting it down to the wire here. I have another idea other than heat-threaded inserts. When I was last in Shenzhen this summer, I picked up some of these. They're the metal inside here. I had to go to a bit of work to find these because they don't normally sell these separate from the back. But my thought is, what if I embed it in the print? So if you can see here, like there's print on top of the metal. And then we could just have all of these studs sticking up and they'd all be in the right place and they'd all be the right height and they'd all have the right threading. So the tricky part to this is that it has to be added during the print. So I've been playing around in the bamboo slicer and it's a whole little nerve-wracking because you gotta put this thing down and then you gotta print on top of it and you gotta not collide with anything. But spend a lot of time looking at all the travel motions and I think I've got it worked out. I'm nervous, but I'm gonna give this a shot. Well, this did not turn out as well as I'd hoped. It was terrifying to print. Good news is it did print over in spots. I was worried that it wouldn't, and it is kind of wedged in there, but I need to refine this more. Like this is kind of bowing up. That's not gonna work. The good news is I don't have to worry about threaded inserts in the bottom. I would only have to worry about them in the walls. You know, that fits in nicely. I don't think this is ready for prime time yet. I think I'd have to spend more time working on this to... One of the biggest goals for this project is to make sure that everybody can 3D print their own phone. And I don't think there's a straightforward path to that with this metal back. I'm worried people are gonna damage their printers and I need to do some more development on it. So I'm not gonna give up on this, but I think it's a separate project and a separate video. So I'm gonna set that aside and dive into the things that needed to be changed from the previous threaded insert version and just keep tweaking here and see if I can get that to work. Let's go tweak the design. All right, let's have a look at this. That's not bad. One of my concerns though is that I'm not sure I'm getting the height right. I want to test out how the lower flex fits in here. Oh yeah. Oh, that fits so much better. That's good. How do the buttons fit? Yeah, those fit pretty well. A little bit tight still, but decent. All right, I think this looks pretty good. I think we're ready to build a phone, but I don't think we should make it out of PLA. This bamboo can do carbon fiber nylon, so I think we should make it out of that. It should be much stronger, much more robust, stiffer. I'm gonna go get that started. Oh, that's nice and stiff now. Oh, this is great. That's gonna be a good looking phone. All right, I got all the support out. There's just a few little minor wisps of it, which I'll paint black, but oh yeah, this is gonna feel good in the hand. It's interesting because it's got a like rough texture to it, particularly on the edges, so it's kind of cool. So I think I want to do button covers next, and let's check that the cameras fit, because those are like the things that might need adjustment. What color buttons do I want? I'm thinking maybe all black. Oh, look at that. Sticks out a tiny bit. I think that will be okay. Ready for action. Yeah, I think those will work. I think we're in good shape now to build out the phone. I think I'm in the home stretch here. I'll put in the battery. And then screen, I guess. Looking pretty good. All right, moment of truth. Hey! It works! Yes! Well, there it is. I think this might be the first 3D printed iPhone. It's a little rough around the edges. I wish I had a little bit more time to work on the polish, but it's working. I'm pretty happy with how that turned out. I would love some more time to just kind of fine tune some of the details on it, but it's totally possible to 3D print an iPhone, and I'm very excited for the future here. This is not possible just because I have a fancy Bamboo X1 carbon. This is a shell I printed on my old Creality CR10S V2 Pro. These printers are totally capable of it. Your printer is probably too. The design is up on my Patreon, patreon.com/strangeparts. You can get access to it there. I also want to make more designs than just the iPhone 12. When I was last in Shenzhen, I bought 3 of every iPhone housing from the iPhone 7 all the way to present day. So I have big plans in that regard. I'd love to try out soluble support material. I did try and buy some, but they sent me the wrong stuff. They sent me polycast instead of the polysoluble or whatever, which is for investment casting, which would be super interesting. How about a bronze iPhone? I'm just super excited about this. I think lots and lots and lots of people have an old iPhone sitting in a drawer somewhere, and the ability to turn it into something new and cool that is uniquely your own sounds pretty exciting to me. This project was my first time using a Bamboo printer, and I'm completely in love. It immediately became my favorite printer. A huge thanks to Bamboo for sending it to me and for sponsoring this video. For a long time, even before I owned my own 3D printer, I knew that I didn't want to get into 3D printers as a hobby. I wanted a 3D printer that was like an appliance, a tool in my shop that I didn't have to think about, didn't have to tweak, that would just produce great results at the push of a button. The Bamboo X1C has really made that dream come true. For simple things I need around the house and the shop, I can just search on my phone for a design on MakerWorld, Bamboo's website for sharing 3D printed designs, and hit print right from my phone. I don't even need to be next to the printer when I kick off a print because I can monitor it remotely via the built-in camera. And the printer has all this built-in intelligence and LiDAR to
calibrate the flow of the material, check that the first layer is adhering correctly, and send me a push notification to my phone if anything goes wrong so I can go check on the printer. It's awesome. I've gotten really big into printing various bins, holders, and other organizers for my shop. I have a huge Gridfinity setup for storing tools and small parts. I've also modeled my own storage bins off these injection molded Acrobin style storage bins I used to buy, and it's been super cost effective. These are like, I don't know, $1 or $2 in filament, whereas these now cost something like $6, even when I really search around. I've also been building these Gridfinity storage bins for little Gridfinity bins. So these are all holding threaded inserts, and you can build different sizes and whatnot to fit in here. It's all modular. I can get it to look exactly like I want, rather than just being stuck with what I can buy commercially. And for more complex projects like this iPhone, I can use Bamboo Studio on my laptop to tweak settings to get exactly the results I want, and then send the print to the printer wirelessly. And the AMS, the Automatic Material System, is a game changer. From multicolor prints to separate support material to automatic switching between multiple spools of the same material for really large prints, I can't live without it at this point. Plus, I can just leave 4 spools of different material loaded and then select between them on my phone or on my laptop when I go to print, to avoid having to manually change materials every time I want to print something new. It's enabled me to do so much more. And this printer supports a wide variety of pretty fancy materials, from the nylon carbon fiber filament that I used for the final version of this phone, to TPU for flexible parts, to lightweight ASA for making RC airplanes, to just regular PLA for everyday prints. This printer can pretty much do it all. Bamboo is holding their end of the year sale from now till January 4th, so don't miss your chance to grab an X1C for $150 off. Their other cheaper models are also on sale. You can get a P1S for $100 off or $200 off a P1P. And if you're looking for an even cheaper option, the A1 series is also on sale with $70 off an A1 and $20 off an A1 Mini. Bamboo just sent me an A1 to try, and while you can't use the fancier filaments like the nylon carbon fiber I used for the final version of this phone, it prints an iPhone out of PLA just as well as my X1C. You can get it now for only $339. Don't miss these amazing deals on Bambulabs' website from now till January 4th. Find out more via Bambulabs' end of year page to get one of the biggest deals of the year. I'll see you again soon.